Hi, eighth graders. I wanted to just touch base really quick on this book review assignment that we have. This is a mastery grade, and we're kind of wrapping up our social issues unit. So I think this is something that I just wanted to touch base on just to see if you had any questions, offer you some help. So 3 paragraphs. Okay. If you go bare minimum, it should be around 12 sentences. Okay. You can go a little bit more, but should be around 12 sentences. Each paragraph has its own requirement, and those are right here. Okay, so you're taking your social issues book, whether it's Ghost, The Hate You Give, The Outsiders, Wonder, whatever book you are reading, and you are writing 3 paragraphs. Okay, if you read more than one, pick your favorite. All right, so the first paragraph is an objective summary, which means that you are just kind of telling me what happens in the book. You're going to have the title and the author. You're going to tell me the main characters, give me a little bit about them and what the problem is and what goes on. You are not no text evidence, no opinions. You are just simply, if we were sitting down, you were going to tell me what your book was about. That's what you're doing. So, an example of this is this one down here. See how it's pretty short? It's only a couple sentences, and that's what you're going to do. So it says, in Jordan Sonnenblick, that's the author, novel Drums, Girls, and Dangerous Pie, Stephen is a fairly typical 8th grade student. So it gives me some information on the main character. He has a time-consuming hobby, playing the drums, a crush on a female classmate, and a little brother named Jeffrey. All 3 aspects collide when an accident reveals that Jeffrey has cancer. There's the problem in the story. It happens kind of at the beginning. So throughout his journey, we learn how Stephen copes with middle school, family struggles, and his brother's cancer. Stephen learns a lot about life through his roller coaster relationships with his brother, his best friend, and his teachers. Feel free to use that as a guide. But that is just give me the basics. What is your story about? What's the problem? Author and title of your book. No opinions, no text evidence. Okay. Paragraph 2 is more looking at the tone. Do you guys remember how we focused on is your book more positive? Does it focus more on the hope? Or does it focus more on the struggle? So if I were to come to you and say, is your book more happy or is it more sad? Because everybody's going to have struggle, but does it focus more on the good that comes out of the struggle, or does it focus more on the struggle, the struggle, the struggle, the struggle, the struggle? If it focuses more on the struggle, then it's bad, it's negative. If it focuses more on the hope, then it's positive. Okay, so you are going to write a 5-sentence paragraph here telling me, is it more positive or is it more negative? And you have to have 2 pieces of textual evidence. These evidence pieces can be paraphrased. So you can say, in chapter 2, part of the struggle was that this character witnessed her best friend get murdered. Or you could say, on page 64, comma, Star said, and then a direct quote. Okay, either one is fine. You're going to have 2 pieces of evidence. So there's an example here. You pause it and read it if you'd like, but I wanted to show you. So this is a direct quote right there. Stephen is the character, says, quote, and then if you notice, author, page number. Okay. And this one says, yes, there's struggles, but the most important scenes provide hope in the midst of bleak situations. And then the last sentence says, therefore, this book is more positive. And so you have to pick, is it positive? You can't be both. Is it more positive and negative? And then the last is 3 sentences. What is a stereotype in your novel? Okay. You're analyzing the assumptions or stereotypes in your text. Okay. And you're going to use evidence to say how it challenges or reinforces. So if you guys remember, we did this about a week ago. You had a little half sheet and you wrote down a stereotype in my book is that whatever group your character is in, that is the stereotype. So whether it be based on gender or race or social class or the fact that you're students or the fact that your character is a student, there is a stereotype, or there's more than one stereotype in your book, but you're going to look at a stereotype that is talked about in your book. Okay. And then you're going to talk about, is it more reinforced or is it more challenged? So say you're reading The Outsiders, and a stereotype is that all gang members are violent. You could say it's mostly challenged because you see the good in these kids who are part of the gang. Okay. And then you have to have one piece of text evidence. And here, this is an example of a paraphrase because it's not word for word, but I can tell you exactly what page it came from. So it says, once the reality of his cancer sets in, Stephen somehow believes that he's at fault and begins making deals with God. That is not word for word. That is just a general statement. And that came from page 24. Okay. So, what I'm going to say, this is on Schoology. You please read the example. Use the example to help you. Feel free to use that format. Just make sure it's your words because it's your book. Use this format, and it is on Schoology. This needs to be submitted today. And if you have questions, feel free to let me know. But use this if you need to rewind the video just to kind of see what else is talked about. Go for it. Here's your 3-paragraph guidelines, though. And this is 10 mastery points. So whatever you get here, I'm just going to double. Okay. All right. Let me know if you have any questions. Good luck. I hope you loved your books. Bye.